Okay, we are live on StreamYard. 197 is live. Let me check the YouTube.
Clickety clack, clack, clack.
Let's see here. It seems to be live as well on YouTube.
Now,
there we go. Episode 197. Looking good. All right. Doke. Seem to be good. So, yeah, there's just one more picture that I'm going to put in there. And hit save. And text. All right. Here we go. So as we set this up, let's see here. Just go ahead and put a couple of little things here and there. Recording date is today. License. All right. All right, here we go. Looking good, looking good. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Wait, what? Hold on a second. I ain't even done an intro. Here we go. What's up, everybody? On today's episode of the Hashtag Blackout podcast, we talk about a few things, including a little bout with COVID, voicemails, an interview about men wearing skirts, new and odd TV and movie shows. Wait, what? New and odd TV shows and movies, whatever. We're going to talk about, maybe a couple of things that that you would say to a kid that sounds weird to say into the grown-ups. Sort of like if you have the sniffles, buddy, things like that. All that and more, whatever. I can't talk today. On today's episode of the Hashtag Blackout podcast. Pew, 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 pew.
Wow.
Ay. What's up, everybody? Welcome back, and welcome back again to episode 197 of the Hashtag Blackout podcast. I'm Jared.
What up, people? I'm Jay.
And we're back and at it again. Jay, I know it's been a couple of weeks, and sorry for everybody out there that was waiting to hear from us, but I know it's been a couple of weeks, and we apologize about that, but we got stuff going on.
Yeah, we do. We did. Not the greatest of things going on, but it was going on. So I'll just start out by saying we experience what every parent, every person probably in the world is afraid of hearing at this time. And that's, hey, your kid has COVID. He tested positive for COVID. So, yeah, my son tested positive for the COVID a couple weeks ago. So, thankfully, it was not bad. He just started out with the little, said he had a little headache. Checked his temp before he went to bed. It was like 90-something, 99 something. Not really considered a fever. Checked again midnight. Boom, it's at like 100 point something. So I think it was like 100.6, which is considered a fever for for anybody, I guess you could say. So yeah, we decided to keep him home just in case, but sent my other kid to school. So he stayed home that full day. Next day, still had a fever, but he was feeling fine. No coughing, no congestion, no sneezing, none of the common symptoms that people seem to be experiencing. No chills, none of that stuff. He was happy-go-lucky, which is pretty much seems like how my kids always are when they get sick. They don't experience anything. They nothing keeps them down. So that Tuesday, checked it. It got up to like 101. Then he started complaining with a little headache that was hurting a little more on and off. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just take you to the doctor just to be sure. Took him in. Doctor said, oh, he looks fine, lungs sound clear, all this stuff. It's like, I don't think it's COVID, but we're just gonna check just to be safe because there's a lot of kids coming in with no symptoms or anything that have been tested positive, and some that have not. So we're gonna test them for COVID and strep throat. So they tested them. They say, okay, it's gonna be like about 20 minutes. So it's like, okay, well, they'll just call. So we just left. 20 minutes passed, didn't hear anything. 2 hours passed, didn't hear anything. Wasn't until like 10 p.m. that night I was like, okay, I'm just gonna log into like his doctor's account, like the hospital account, and see if they posted anything. So lo and behold, got the notice back, negative for strep, but positive for COVID, and I'm like, oh,
dang.
Wow. So yeah, so school protocols. Anybody in the household has COVID or in close contact, you got to keep them all home. So both kids had to stay home. Had to quarantine my son in his bedroom for 10 days. So did that, and that's like the toughest thing for a kid because they're just stuck in the room. They want to get out. His little brother wants to go check on him, checking, just playing, whatever. So did that. Luckily, he made it through 10 days. Of course, I'm worried because I'm in and out the room. I'm triple masked up, going in and out of there, just checking on him and stuff, bringing him food, making sure he's comfortable, whatever. So, yeah, we got through those 10 days. After that 10th day, he was ready to go back to school. School cleared him to go back, but then my youngest son has to wait a few additional days before he goes back, just in case he starts developing symptoms. So yeah, he went back. Everything's cool. He did, however, lose his sense of smell.
The older?
Yeah. My oldest, he did lose his sense of smell. He said it's slowly coming back. He said he could smell some things, but still, it's a very stressful time to have your kid develop, this particular thing when you don't know how kids are going to react or whatever. Everybody's body is different. So, so he's good. I'm hoping that they don't develop, anything as the school year goes on, but that's hard to say. School really isn't doing anything to implement their mask mandate because I go and pick kids up. A lot of kids don't have masks on. A lot of teachers don't have masks on. Grown-ups picking their kids don't have masks on. So, I mean, I don't care if you don't get a vaccine or not. I really don't care. It's your problem. But, at least take the proper protocols to keep everybody safe in some capacity. Get your mask on. It's impossible to socially distance at school with the kids. So I really ain't much I could do about that. But try what they doing. Yeah, try to keep your mask on at least to keep everybody safe, keep you from getting it and spreading it to your family members. But yeah. And then now we receive an email late Friday night saying, hey, your child is in danger of truancy because he's missed so many days. I'm like, wait a minute. I emailed you guys the day after he got tested and told you that he tested positive and that he's going to be home for 10 days. You guys even have it on your website that their mandatory stay home time is 10 days.
Yeah.
And then you come back. I even talked to the school nurse. He got it jotted down in the system and signed off saying, hey, he's scheduled to come back on Friday. So it's like, why are you sending me this email? So it just shows me that the school is not communicating when it comes to these type of issues. So I'm going to have to call the school, talk to somebody tomorrow, which is Monday. I think you already heard my wife talking about some of that stuff before we even logged on and started recording. So yeah, I got a lot of work to do, just a lot of talking to folks and stuff. So hopefully they'll get their shit straight and get him off this particular truancy, whatever it is. But yeah, that was the highlight of the past couple weeks, man. I got tested twice. Thought I had it once a few days ago because I was just feeling like crap, but tested negative for both of them tests. I only to find out that this location is high in allergens. It's like the allergy count is very high, this time right now because wind is blowing, fall is coming in. So, and as I could hear you sniffling, I could hear you sniffling. I'm sure the allergies are kind of getting to you.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, man. So that was a highlight of my last 2 weeks. So
wow.
I had to take the next couple of days off from work just so I could get my mind straight and ready to get back. So
yeah. So I have a question. So what is the? I'm glad everybody's okay. It's thankfully so, and thankfully it didn't turn out to be more kids in the school that had that, but pretty sure that's where he got that from, right?
I'm sure.
But I have a question. So when it comes to if your kid tests positive, right? What kind of quarantining do you have to do from a work standpoint? I mean, you're still working at home though, right?
I work at home. I'm probably not going back. But my wife, she had to stay home, so she can't go back. Yeah, she has to quarantine for the recommended number of days, which I think is on the CDC guidelines, and it's 10 to 14 days.
Okay.
So, and she's been tested twice since since my kid had it. So she's always going to have to constantly get tested because she has to go in now. Starting this week, she'll be going in like 3 days, 4 days a week, 3 days a week, I think. Yeah. So, yep.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, I guess staying from home is work from home is obviously a little bit different. If you have somebody in the family that has to quarantine, I guess you still have to work, right? Until you, I guess, test positive or whatever, if that has to happen. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's sort of crazy, man. Thankfully he's good. Thankfully it, nobody else caught it. I think it's one of those things when you have other people that are around you or that are in your house that are sick, like sometimes I think like up here in the mind, you feel like if you don't get sick, sometimes it feels like you might start developing some of those symptoms of whatever that sickness is.
Yeah.
Because when there's kids in my house that get sick, or whatever, I swear I wake up some mornings, I'm like, my throat's scratchy. You know what I'm trying to say? And it just isn't, But yeah, with all the allergens going on right now, this time of year is just funky. Everything is drying out, especially leading into fall and winter. So it's one of those things. Yeah, man, it's getting funky. And then of course, speaking of vaccines and the allergies and all that stuff. I mean, I had I walked into Walmart yesterday and there was a lady, right at a table, right as soon as you walk in, past the little past the door or whatever, saying, would you like your flu shot today? Would you like your flu shot today? I'm like, girl.
Yeah. They were posted outside yesterday, Walmart, doing that.
Yeah. And what's so weird? Like, there's some places where, you would think that you would go to get a flu shot, like the doctor, what I'm trying to say? Or like Walgreens, CVS, things like that. But Walmart is not one of those places. But I will admit,
shot.
I've got my flu shot at Walmart before. I've got my flu shot at Sam's and maybe Costco before, one of those two. And this was like before COVID, so it was just like sort of out in the open.
Yeah.
Walmart, I think they put you like behind a little partition, but Sam's and Costco, like, hey, just come over here real quick. Let's go into the, bulk bread section. Like bam, hit you with
and give you a shot like these tampons.
Right, exactly. And then I don't know, man. The places where it always weirds me out to go to get those types of things, oddly enough, are like a Walgreens and CVS, because normally it's right over in the pharmacy. And all the people who are waiting in the pharmacy are either sick or they're around other sick people trying to get medicine.
Right.
So I'm like, man, I don't want to walk in there and just get sick just by association. So yeah, it's It's wild, man. But it's that season, so now this was so wild, man. People are like, you know what? I don't believe in the COVID vaccine, but they believe in the flu vaccine. Or maybe they don't believe in any vaccines.
Yeah, and
so
and
wow.
the reasoning I heard behind that, and this is their reasoning, not mine, is that this COVID vaccine was developed so quickly. You know? But the thing is, the flu mutates every year, so you get a different strain of the flu every year. So you're not really sure. You're just getting new stuff pumped into your body regardless.
Yeah.
So
that's true. And then again, this is the thing, man. When people say that they made up the COVID vaccine so quickly, I'm like, yeah, they did make it so quickly compared to the flu vaccine and the polio vaccine. Because they're like, polio took 20 years to get it right,
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on a second. Let's look at
think about it.
The situation here. Yeah. Right now, we're in 2021, the most technologically advanced we've ever been in every facet. In every facet except for intercultural relationships. So I guess at this point we are probably farther ahead. Maybe the only thing we're probably behind is back when there was Adam and Eve and like they didn't know what a color was, right? So anyway, but when it comes to medical, yes, they did develop that drug within a year's time, but they had, I don't know, the whole world working on it at the same time. A, B, this isn't like 1922 when, the doctors, had to use the same needle for everything, 4 or 5 times. Yeah. There's so much different now than it was then.
Yeah.
So, that argument that they just developed it within a year, I don't buy it because they had billions of dollars and, thousands of scientists and doctors and the like tossing their money at this, trying to get this thing, trying to get some kind of vaccine. And by the way, there's 3, 4, 5 companies that came up with a vaccine, or there's 3, 4, 5 versions of it. But there's only 3 versions that were initially, approved and available. Yeah. So, you think about it like that, then I think it should be a different perspective. But there's people who's stuck in their head about that.
Yeah. And then in addition, to those particular companies making vaccines, you got to think about it. There's like a bunch of different companies across the world trying to develop vaccines for their country, their area. Because I'm sure Japan has their thing, China has their vaccine, Russia.
Oh yeah,
all across the European, Asian continent, countries and stuff like that. So yeah, you got technology on your side, people. Try not to to dive too deep into it and think it's a whole conspiracy.
I tell you, and the wild thing is this, man. Like, so these pharmaceutical companies and other companies like that help create the vaccine. They have locations in several of the largest countries around the world, so they're working on a vaccine for America as well as other countries, simultaneously seeing what works in other places compared to here, because everybody's body type and really like diet and things like that, location are different. So, it may have to be adjusted accordingly. Yep. And the other thing that is always odd to me though, is in relation to this, because the only thing we hear about side effects for the, for this COVID, vaccine is, feeling like you're sick, like you have the flu or, something like that, like, getting hot, like all this stuff that, connects with, being sick. So those are side effects you hear, and some people, it lasts for a little bit, some people longer, some people say they got like Bell's palsy for a little bit, like all this weird stuff. Right. So, wow. But when you watch those commercials for like, Viagra or, all these other random, things, I mean, the commercial is 85% side effects.
Yeah.
15%. And this is the joy that you will now have because you could finally have sex with your wife again. You know what I'm trying to say?
You remember that commercial I told you about some episodes ago called Vexy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a new one. There's a new one out.
Oh,
And it's funny because my kid reacted to it pretty wildly, because it opens up. It starts with let me see if I can point it to the camera. So it starts like this. It looks like a little, and it just starts expanding and going like this. And all of a sudden it opens up into a pink room where a lady's just walking around. It's like, hey guys, I've been getting in the mood lately, and I'm wanting to get something that'll help boost my love life or whatever. So they go through all this beautiful commercial. I'm sure they spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
And of course, towards the end, side effects may include liver damage, kidney bleeding, and all this other stuff. I'm like,
wow.
what?
Yeah.
All to get get your freak on in the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, man.
It
adds up on all that stuff, and nobody bats an eye to it. But
yeah, man, it gets a little funny. I'm trying to say it's interesting when you see that. And at this point, you just sit back and you just listen to the commercial, like you say, and it's like, oh yeah, sure. Anal bleeding, awesome. I'm trying to say. Yeah. It's like it may increase your ability to get other infectious diseases, or it may decrease the ability for your white blood cells to function properly. But you can have a new life by using it. Like, I don't know, it's like a negative. It's like a positive and a negative at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm trying to say? So
it's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. But
okay, here's the side effects. While most women find Phexxi comfortable and easy to use, the common side effects were vaginal burning, vaginal itching, vaginal yeast infection, urinary tract infection, vaginal area discomfort, bacterial vaginosis, and vaginal discharge. Those are common, which means most women who take it experience something of those.
Most women.
Yes, most common side effects.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's horrible.
Wow. There you go.
Asthma medications. Yeah. Common side effects include nervousness, sweating, nausea, and vomiting. For asthma, decongestants, right? Decongestants, meaning so you won't have the sniffles. Nosebleed, nasal irritation.
Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing about decongestants is my blood pressure goes up with decongestants. Like if I take a Allegra D or some kind of Benadryl D or something like that, my blood pressure will go, and it's so pretty crazy. Fine. My blood pressure is good on a normal day, but a doctor checked my blood pressure like the same day that I took a Benadryl D, and that sucker was so high, they were like, you probably got to go to the hospital. I'm like, I do, because that sucker was borderline heart attack territory, and they're like, did you take a decongestant today? I was like, yeah. And it was like, that's it. Never mind.
That's so crazy.
So try to stay away from the D products.
Yeah, that's so crazy. And I wonder if there's some kind of try to stay away from the D. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm staying away from D.
But I wonder if there's like extra sodium in that in the recipe for the medicine. I don't know. It's interesting.
Recipe.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. For heart and blood pressure medications. Heart and blood pressure, right? Chest pains.
Yep. Don't want to get that confused.
Drowsiness, dizziness. I mean, you think that you're having a heart attack by taking a heart attack medicine. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
Like loss of appetite, leg pain. I don't know. It's wild. And, loss of appetite is also like, for what you call that? Drowsiness, dizziness, loss of appetite for, like depression medication as well. So it makes you feel bad to help you feel good. Like, I don't understand it, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So I don't know. There are some medications that I, definitely don't trust.
Oh man, I can remember back in college when I got mono. Mm-hmm. Back
out in them streets, kissing all them girls.
Out in them streets, man. I got
late
mono,
nights.
And they prescribed me 2 different types of medications, and I forgot what it was. But I had to kind of take them together. I probably shouldn't have, but when I took them together, I swear they made me feel so good. I could sit on the couch and it's like I was melting into the couch.
Oh man.
And it was like one of the best like highs, if you want to
some
call
LSD.
I don't know, man, but it was good. It was a great feeling. And
nice.
It was man, it was so comfortable, so relaxing. I was just like sitting there and it felt like my body was just sinking into warm marshmallow.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Just pass out and go to sleep in it.
That's so funny. Yeah, yeah. That's hilarious, man. Yeah, some of the medications do make you feel like that. Valium, it's good. So, like as a medication.
Yeah.
Not as just a use it anytime drug. Wow. Okay, man. So let us know y'all's comments on that. On anything else. And I don't know, Jay, how would the people leave us a comment on what they feel about medications and vaccines and, taking something to make all their pain and pressures go away?
If you want to do that, you could definitely give us a call. Give us a little ring-a-ling, 3853-BLAKPC, 385-325-2572. What's wrong? You don't like my ring-a-ling?
Ring-a-ling for the ding-a-ling.
Yeah, well, some people do that.
Yes.
Yeah, or you could just email us, #blackoutpod@gmail.com, or just hit us in the DMs and type it out if you got a super long message and you don't want the voicemail to cut off. We could read it. We could read it back to the folks out there. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, and actually, episode 195, we got a message from the Chewing Grounds podcast. So thank y'all. Wow, love this podcast. Love the energy and vibes of everyone. You've earned a new supporter here. Keep killing it. I just uploaded a new podcast episode on my channel too. So we're going to have to look at y'all channel. So yeah, thank you, the Chewing Grounds podcast. Definitely appreciate that. And it sounds like you guys just chew on coffee or something. So we're gonna have to find out. Chewing grounds. Could
be like that chewing tobacco our grandfather used to do, chewing on ground tobacco.
This is true too. Who knows? We're gonna find out. We'll follow you.
A little spit cup right on a spit can right on the side of their rocking chair.
Yeah, they might. And you throw your sock across the room and it land in the spit cup. That is.
I can remember that so vividly.
I swear, man. I think about that. I think about that that often actually. It's really weird, but like randomly, I'll think about that and I'll either tell my kids the story. I'll tell my kid the story, about it, and they're always just like, "Oh, that's so nasty. Dude. I would have just left the sock." I'm trying to say, or I don't know, like I'll spit, or I'll see somebody chewing tobacco, or I'll see like a coffee can. Like there's always I think about that a lot. So
what I remember most is
that
what brings me back to that particular, not just that scene, but just that whole little environment is the freaking painting with the fruits on the wall right above the table.
Yes.
Every time I see a painting with fruit, it'll bring me right back to our grandparents' house.
Yeah, that's wild, man. Isn't that wild? And it's so crazy because like you think about stuff like that, and honestly, I don't know what happened to that painting. It probably got sold or destroyed or whatever. But that painting today would probably be worth something. But back when they bought it, it might have been an expensive piece of art, and they might have been like, wow, because I don't know. There's some people who purchase art and put it in their house, and it's like a showpiece, right? It's like a centerpiece. Like that painting was in the dining room area, right?
Yeah.
Essentially that's what it was, because there was no other place where you sat down at a table to eat.
True.
Right. So that painting was in the dining room area over the table. So if you think about it compared to a traditional dining room setting with artwork and, china and all this stuff, that was like the centerpiece of that room, right? I mean, and honestly, in that room, the centerpiece was that painting and that big old TV on the floor.
I was just gonna say, don't forget about that heater that was in the corner,
right on the side of the pit
cup.
Man, the heater in the corner. And, I swear, man.
The big freezer that was right across from that.
Yeah, there was a big freezer. Man, I swear. In Papa's chair. Yeah, I always thought that heater was gonna like burn everything down. I swear. I was all because those heaters, like, they had fire, like flames in them. Mm-hmm. And I was like, how is there just fire in the house and it's not a fireplace? Like I couldn't put it together. Because we had a fireplace in my house, and we used logs or whatever in it. And so whenever I came to your house, or whenever I came to our grandparents' house, or anybody in Louisiana, I swear it seemed like everybody in Louisiana had the same little like heaters in random rooms of their house. Yeah. And it would freak me out. Didn't y'all have one in your restroom?
Yeah, it was in the bathroom right next to the toilet. So if it was on and you had to poo, your leg was getting burnt off.
You sitting there getting your legs scalded as you get poop falling out. Wow. Wow. I remember that so vividly, man. It's so wild. Yeah. It's unfortunate that I mean, I'm sure somebody at some point in time took like a home, camcorder video of that back in the day. I wish that we would be able to see. I know we had a camcorder back then, but I don't know. I'm sure we brought it to Louisiana at some point, but who knows where those videos are? And the tapes are like, beta tapes or something like that. I don't know.
My uncle still has one in his house.
Yeah. What, the little fire thing?
Yeah, in their bathroom. Yeah. I'm almost positive they do.
Wow.
I think I saw it.
Wow.
So
it's even wild. What's even wilder is it probably still works just fine.
Oh yeah. Still works.
That's hilarious. Dang. Yeah. I used to look at that and be like, and ask my parents if we could get one, but they're like, we don't need that. It's just not a thing. It wasn't a thing. Like I don't remember any of our family members in Texas that I ever went to their house or any of my friends that had one of those little mini wall heaters. So it was probably the gas lines and everything else and how that functioned and the heat. AC and heating units at the house. So let's see here. Wow. I know we got some voicemails.
Yes.
So thank you, our Memphis correspondent, coming in strong with some voicemails on a few days here. So let's go to the first one. 3, 2, and 1.
Yo, this is Memphis Diva 99, aka Kayla. Look, I got so much stuff to tell y'all. Okay, so in the next couple of days, I'm going to be doing the Lift Chronicles on your show, and I'm going to tell you just some crazy stories. So my first crazy story is, damn, I wrote it down. Shoot. Hold up. Oh, the prostitute.
Okay.
So I get a ping to go pick up this lady, and come to find out it's a parking lot where the prostitutes are hiding behind bushes. They doing stuff behind bushes. They see my car pull up. They looking, and my prostitute passenger runs across the parking lot and flags me down. Say, "Here I am." She said, "We got to wait on my trick." I didn't know the woman was a prostitute, so I'm looking around and I'm creeped out of all these ladies. One lady's in the corner dancing. One lady near a bush bending it over. Another lady just walking and singing. So they get in the car and I say, "Oh my God, are those prostitutes?" And the lady says, "Well, yeah, I'm one." And I look at her and I said, "Oh, okay." She said, "Yeah, I'm a prostitute." But she said, "I'm a little more secretive than that." And it was very interesting. She said she just had to get her money. And the guy was a regular of hers. And it was very interesting. And she said, she had kids and that's all she knew. And that no use for spending money getting your booty and breast done when you can't get money from it. All right, so that was Live Chronicle number 1.
Wow. All right. So there you go.
That's interesting.
Memphis prostitutes. Memphis prostitutes. Oh, okay. So speaking of Memphis prostitutes, you remember my friend Lionel that we used to play Halo with, and I still play PUBG with. Shout out to Lionel and Ray. We worked at this restaurant in Fort Worth called Texas de Brazil back in the day, right? And at Texas de Brazil, we had a guy that we worked with named Brandon, right? Brandon was wow. Brandon would be an amazing, comedic movie character, because he's just so unbelievable. Like everything he does and says is so unbelievable that you're just like, you just made this person up. Like you can't be a real individual, because things that he would say and do were just like wild. So it was a white dude who looked like was that dude's name? Okay. So the oldest son from Home Alone.
Okay. Buzz.
Buzz, there you go. I was gonna say Biff, but Buzz, there you go. So yeah, he looked like Buzz, right? He sort of looked like Buzz, but he looked like as if Buzz was a 33-year-old, 33-year-old that has about 20 more years of road rage on him or something like that, road work on him, whatever you want to call it. He just looked like an older version of Buzz, right? In a waiter's outfit. So this dude would say he would say the craziest things, I don't know. He would always talk about girls in a really weird way and other people in a really weird way. Apparently he was the cocaine dealer for the for the GM at the time. He's this supplier. That's probably how he kept his job. Anytime a new person started, so I remember starting and getting a fairly good section, as a server there, and then him coming up to me, hey G, the hostess has made a mistake. That table gonna be mine right there. It was like a nice sized table that I was gonna get later that night or something like that. He's like, nah, these are yours over here, G. So he would steal people's sections, and then one time we were talking about when they went to open the new Texas de Brazil restaurant in Memphis, right? Mm-hmm. And so it was him and this other dude, this black dude named Eric, who was a cool dude. But yeah, he was like, yeah, man, we went to Memphis, me and Eric and he said a couple other people, a couple of kitchen guys. He's like, yeah, man, we go there, we'd be setting up the restaurant during the day. But at night, man, we'd be getting them we getting really, cheap prostitutes, what I'm trying to say. And Eric sort of clamped up a little bit, but you knew that he also was a part of that. It's like, yeah, man, and then I don't know, he just went on and on telling random stories. And so the setting of him telling this story, everyone is sort of in the back, in the restaurant, and we're folding napkins that they put on the table. And also we're rolling up silverware. So, we're just all doing side work or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's he goes on and on about these stories about all these prostitutes that he would get during the time. He's like, man, and he's saying their ages, how they're underage and stuff like that. And maybe some above age. He's like, there ain't and there's some people who were just sort of shocked at his story. And he was like, you know what? There ain't a man in here who can't say that they ain't never had a prostitute. So I was just sitting there. I was like, I looked at my friend Lionel. We looked at each other. We raised our hand. We're like, I've never had a prostitute. You know what I'm trying to say?
Okay. All right.
And he was like, oh, gee, man. He would just talk about it it's so matter of factly. You know what I'm trying to say? And so, yeah, and that was in Memphis, right? So, and also, oddly enough, somehow, one of my friends acquired a photo, or I guess Lano acquired a photo of our GM, who was the cokehead, and who had taken a picture with and got it signed by Ike Turner on the streets of Memphis, randomly. And Ike like signed it, "Hey Bill, stay up," or something like that. So it was just so random. But yeah, Memphis prostitutes, Kayla, they're all over them streets. And my homie Brandon, or my homie, no, not homie, dude I used to work with, Brandon, probably has met them all.
Yeah, I remember the first time I seen a prostitute, man. It was actually with you and your dad, because your dad took us to the Astros game, and that ride back, I guess leaving that parking lot, they were lined up.
Man, I'm telling you.
Wow, I didn't know people come to games dressed like this.
Yeah. That's a part of town in Houston, over where the Astrodome is, where the Reliant Stadium is.
Yeah.
That's where Astroworld used to be. That's prime position for prostitutes. I don't know if they still have it right. They probably still have it right now. That's probably still going on there right now. They cleaned it up a little bit, but still, that was a prime location. Prime location. That is wild. So I love that. I love that Lift Chronicle, Kayla. We need to keep them going. Okay, here we go. I think she has another one. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
What it do is Memphis Diva 99, Kayla. Yeah, okay, your cousin Memphis. So I told y'all I was gonna be calling y'all with the Lift Chronicles. It's 12:36 a.m. in the morning. And I am looking at this movie called Karen. So I was like, I need to call and tell them about my Karen ride. So this lady gets in a car, white lady, really pretty lady. And she was from Louisiana. And she was here hanging out with her girlfriends. And she said, "I'm Karen." And I said, "Okay, hey Karen." She was like, "But not that Karen." And it was so funny. And I was like, "Oh," she was like, "Well, the Karen, and my name's Karen. But I just want to let you know I'm not like Karen." And it was interesting. But she was real friendly. She gave me a tip. And that was about it. But I'm looking at this movie and the neighbors, races, whatever. And I've dealt with racist stuff before. It's all in how you raise and how you deal with it. Interesting movie. Black couple moves next door here in this movie. So it just came on. And I'm going to have to pause it because I got to get me a Pepsi. Unfortunately, it's late at night. So maybe I shouldn't go get a Pepsi. Maybe I just need to go get some water. Yeah, water. Ugh.
So it was Karen, but not that Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not that Karen.
Not that Karen. All right, here we go. Last up. 3, 2, 1.
Hey, y'all. This is Memphis Diva.
Oh, wait. Hold on a second. I just thought about this. So if you have somebody that comes in the car like that, it's like, "Oh, I'm Karen, but I'm not that Karen," she probably actually is that Karen.
Yeah. It's possible.
I just thought about that.
It's possible.
She's probably just trying to be like, "Oh, don't lump me in with the rest of those Karens." No. When you say that, that's probably you. All that stuff, that's what you actually did. So, I don't know. Just a thought. Okay, here we go. Last one. 3, 2, 1.
Hey, y'all. This is Memphis Diva 99. Okay, Kayla. Hey, y'all. Good morning. Look, this is my third little Lift Chronicle thing I wanted to share with y'all. So, a lady gets in the car and she says, "Did you get cut on your face?" And I have I have keloid skin. Mm-hmm. So I told her, "Nope." I said that comes from me having acne in my 20s, and I've just was messing with any keloid. I have keloid. My family has traits of keloid skin, so it just runs in the family. Keloids, y'all need to look it up. It's when your skin just keeps on healing and healing and healing, and then it forms a bump, and sometimes they get large. But anyway, it's like if I have surgery or something, and major surgery, and they cut all your layers of your skin, you're gonna keloid. But anyway, she goes on and tells me that her 16-year-old son tried to kill her. And he was doing bad stuff, so she took his cell phone, and while she was sleeping, he was stabbing her. I think about 5-6 times. And when she woke up, she was, bleeding real bad. He ran out, he's in juvenile court, and she says she just don't want him to, he can't come back to their home. And how his sister, who witnessed it, when the mom ran out, that she's scared to come home. And it's just real interesting that these Live Chronicles. We had a long talk. I told her to hang in there, and she said her family was mad because she said she just didn't want her son. He can't come back, and you would be surprised, y'all, what people go through. But yeah, that's my Live Chronicle, my third Live Chronicle, I think. And I got plenty more, but we'll talk later. What are your thoughts when you have a bad child and you got to put them in juvenile court because they try to kill you?
Wow, let's never hope.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Let's never hope that we have to worry about that. That is crazy, man.
For real. I wouldn't even know how to read. That's some tough stuff, man. I just recently saw this video online of kids and juveniles getting handed like life sentences, and the way they were like breaking down. Some of them broke down, and some of them didn't even have like any remorse or whatever. They were just like happy with it. So it's crazy to think some kids, think that way. It's like you want to know where it kind of stems from, like what makes them think that. Is it like something on TV? Is it friends? Is it video games you don't know, or is it just complete mental disorder, chemical imbalance in the brain?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, it is tough, and it's sad that they don't get help sooner, or maybe the family is denying that they need help. What I'm trying to say? So like,
it's just not seeing the signs of it.
Yeah, they just don't know the signs. Yeah, that's so crazy. Wow. That is crazy. Yeah, I'm not sure what I would do, and hopefully we never have to, encounter that situation, if that makes any sense. So
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, recently, so kids' school, they have three different sections. So there's a primary school, middle school, high school. It's all on one big campus. Like I said, it's a pretty nice sized campus. Kind of looks like a little community college. But there was an incident, I guess, a few weeks ago where the student was threatening to do harm to, I guess, other students. I mean, we kind of all can pretty much guess what that could be, seeing as a lot of mass shootings at school. So, that just kind of reminded me of that story that she told, these dysfunctional kids that are doing crazy stuff like that, killing. So thankfully nothing happened. Hopefully they dealt with the student at this particular school, but you never can tell what school or what campus has some crazy.
Yeah, you're right, man.
Has some unbalanced kids. I don't just want to call them crazy, just have some unbalanced kids, some troubled kids on campus,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you never know, man. Never know. It's some wild stuff. Definitely some wild stuff. All right. Well, thank you for the messages, Kayla. Definitely appreciate that. You guys, you already know where to leave us a message. As Jay said before, also hit us up on the, on our Instagram. shoot us a message there. And Jay actually just, he actually just posted a couple of things, one of which including our new and improved hashtag Blackout logo with, Miami Vice, little Miami Vice vibe to it. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm wearing that Don Johnson, white suit.
Man, I've been on a Miami Vice kick because that was like my favorite show growing up. One of my favorite shows growing up. If I didn't, if I wasn't going to be Indiana Jones, then I was going to be like, Sonny, Crockett and Tubbs, one of them. Yeah. And now watching it as a grown up, I'm like, how do these dudes afford like Ferraris and stuff on a undercover cop salary in Miami? So maybe they just like procured it from like those particular items that got confiscated. It was just wild, and I've been watching them like every night before I go to bed, because it's just fun. 80s buddy cop type movies, shows, they were fun back in the day.
Yeah, insane. That's so funny. Yeah, I haven't watched that I haven't watched that in a long time, but it would be fun to go back and watch it. Speaking of, odd new and old TV shows, or odd new TV shows and movies. I know you mentioned that beforehand. One, I don't know. I know you had a couple of mine. So which was one you had in mind? There was one that I'm trying to look up the name of that I saw recently.
There's one that I watched earlier this week or last week, something like that. But Squid Game. It's Korean. I think it's Korean. So let's say it's like you've seen Battle Royale, right?
Yeah.
So it's I'm gonna say it's somewhat like Battle Royale in a sense, only because it's a crazy genre of show, but it's all these people that are down on their luck. They owe lots of money, they're in debt lots of money, and they're given the opportunity to play a game. They don't know the game beforehand, but they're given the opportunity to join in on this game where they could win multiple of millions of dollars. So it starts out with 465 players, I think it is. Yeah, 465 players. And each game, people die. So the first game was a game of red light, green light.
Wow.
And there was this, I'll just paint the first game for you without giving you the rest. So let's just say there's this big statue at the end, kind of like a big model that rotates. It's a red light, so it announces red light, green light. And when the red light comes, it turns around and it has these sensors to know who's moving. Then there's these snipers on either side at the top that shoot whoever's moving. So you gotta try and make it to the other end, obviously without moving to win the game. So there's multiple games like this until they get down to one person. And I just thought it was like the wildest show.
This one called Squid what?
Squid Game.
What on what service is
this?
That?
Is Netflix. This is Netflix.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead right now and save that on my Netflix so I can watch that.
Put that down. And in addition to that which reminds me, last year they came out with one called Alice in Borderland, which is kind of sort of similar to this too. It's about games. Play games. You may lose, you may win, and you could die, definitely. So put that one down too. That's a dope one, and I'm waiting for season 2. Both of these
Squid Game.
Yeah, both of these ended as if they were going to have a season 2 or a part 2 to it. What else have I been watching?
It looks like Alice in Borderland is already on my list, so I guess I saved it at some point.
Yeah. So definitely check those 2 out. There's there's a lot of things, a lot of good things too. So my wife introduced me to the show called Blood and Water, and I think her friend told her about it, and it's pretty much based in South Africa. It's just this whole crazy thing where it's like human trafficking and stuff like that. So it's a pretty good show that y'all should probably check out. What else? What else have I've been watching some wild stuff lately. I'm gonna stop right now. I'm gonna have to think about it. But
that's crazy.
Have you been checking out anything recently?
Yeah, the most recent thing that I watched is called Ultra City Smiths, right? It's on AMC. Now, do you remember the TV show Thunderbirds or Team America World Police?
Yep.
You know, where it's like the puppet, puppets, marionettes. So yeah, this is an AMC, I guess it's an AMC show. Which I get through my like Hulu or what, or not Hulu, but my which I get through my Squid Game was great. Hey, thanks, Hillbilly. What's up? Which I get through my Roku service. So anyway, it's a story about an investigation into the mysterious disappearance of a fictional metropolis. The most famous person, the most rich and famous person in this city that would be sort of like a New York City type of thing, by two detectives. So the metropolis is called Ultra City Smiths. And I don't know where the Smiths came from just yet, but there's like several references to this and several signs around the city that says Ultra City, she don't care. And so I guess it's sort of like, the city doesn't care who you are, what you are, anything about you. But it's odd because there's all these gangs, right? There's like teen gangs. And so the two main detectives is like this new rookie detective who like just moved to the city from like, I don't know, from like, what's it called? Like from the Midwest or something. Mm-hmm. And then his partner is a seasoned detective from the city. And it's like this black lady who's the seasoned detective, and she has like a little teenage son, that goes out, and he's like, I'm going to hang out with my friends, and she's like, why are you trying to hang out with your friends at night? Like, it's too late or something like that. And, she goes out and meets her detective, and then randomly the new rookie detective is like, who is that group of kids? And it's just like a group of kids that are walking by, and they all look like David Bowie, right?
Interesting.
And like they all have on masks, they all look exactly the same hair, all this stuff. She's like, oh, that's the Bowie gang. They all dress up like David Bowie, or et cetera, et cetera. It's similar scenarios like that. And then there's one that's like, that's the dead presidents, or that's the Nixons. That's the Nixons gang. And they all look like Richard Nixon. And then one of the people in the Richard Nixon gang, they all have blue suits on, right? So the kid when that lady's kid leaves the house, he leaves the house and he has like regular, like, hangout clothes on. But then when he leaves, he takes off his clothes and he switches into his dark blue suit. So when the Nixons pass by, all of them have a Richard Nixon mask on. They all have these blue suits on. And then like one of them, you could see that has like a little mini afro. And then like the detective lady, she like is like, I think that's my kid. So like she sort of chases them down, because they're all like running, they just happen to be running by. And I think the kid sees her, stops and pauses. And that's when they like connect eyes, and then he runs off. So like she sort of follows them down and like to the alleyway and then down into the subway. And then they get onto a train, and the kid's looking at her in the window of the subway as the subway, takes off, and she's standing there. She's like, yeah, that was definitely probably my kid. That's weird.
And marionette dolls? All
marionettes. It is like the amount of marionettes is insane. It's so good. And then so then on top of this, there's like this one like dude who just like standing there on the corner, speaking of prostitutes, also in the park, and he's like, care for a favor? You want a favor? Or it's like something like that. Like, you want a handy or something? It's like something weird like that. So he's trying to like get, it's like this young kid dressed as like a cowboy or something like that. Or no, you want a back scratch. So you want a back scratch? You want a back scratch? And so like people are like, no, I don't want a back scratch. He's like, all right, well, have a good day. Or no. No, when people say I don't want to have back scratch, he's like, all right, we'll see you later. And then people are like, no, you probably won't see me later. He's like, no, I was just saying like, bye-bye, like see you later. Like, you want a back scratch? Nope, I'm good. Well, see you later. Well, I will not see you later because I said I didn't want a back scratch. No, I'm just trying to be nice. So it's like a nice prostitute. Like it's the weirdest thing. And he's asking everybody for a back scratch. So then the detective that moved in from the Midwest breaks into song every now and then. Like he just breaks into like random, like, and it's like a full on dance production of marionettes. So like he's walking through a park and it's really weird. And then all of a sudden, like all these random people show up and he's like, you know, doing like a song and dance. So it's wild, man. This is really weird. You know, and then they see that like, you know, some person dies and they're like, Ultra City, she don't care. And like people repeat that like, you know, throughout different portions of the episodes. Wow, so it's interesting. So I saw that. Let's see here. What did Hillbilly say? Wheel of Time comes out November 19th.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that. It looks real good.
What is that about?
Oh goodness. How can I describe? Is it based on books? I think it's based on some books. Don't quote me on that, but you'll probably have to look it up. It's tough to explain right now. So I get sort of maybe a Lord of the Rings type vibe from it, adventure type thing. But yeah, I saw the trailer like a couple weeks ago, and it looked interesting, but I can't recall everything that played in there because I probably watched too many trailers since then. You know, yeah. And what's funny is when Memphis Diva, when Kayla was talking about doing like a Lyft Chronicle, driving these people around at midnight. There's a new movie coming out called Night Teeth, like
Night Teeth,
like the teeth in your mouth.
Late Night Dentist.
Yeah, something like that. But you know, it's like a horror movie. It's coming to Netflix, and it chronicles this. I guess he's like a Lyft driver, kind of like a driver at night, and he's bringing around these two women who are actually vampires, and they're kind of, I don't know if they're like assassin vampires. There you go, Game of Thrones. Okay, Game of Thrones is a B book, and Wheel of Time is an A book. So yeah, it is based on books. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out. But Night Teeth is, from what I could gather from the trailer, it looks like a couple of women vampires who are going around kind of taking out different groups, and there's a driver who has absolutely no clue, who's just driving around, kind of like Collateral. Remember Collateral with Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise? So they're just driving around in a taxi. So that looks real interesting. I'm gonna check that out because I like horror movies. And stuff like that. So it looks real good.
I have to look it up too. Man, there's so many things. I just get
a lot of stuff coming out.
That's what's so wild. Like, you know, last year, okay, Night Teeth, I see it right there. Last year when Corona started, and I mean Netflix and all these other and I'm gonna have to look up. So is Wheel of Time? Oh, Wheel of Time's Amazon, so I had to pull that one up. So last year when Corona started, and you know, people like started binge watching TV shows like insanely, and you know, and it just turned into a thing where, you know, you're doing Netflix, you're at home working, you're Zooming all the time, all this stuff. But there seemed to be, I guess the thing about it is it seemed to be so much new content that they were putting out. But I think in actuality, it was probably a lot of shows that may not have gotten green lighted, you know, before. And they're like, you know what? We need to put out more content because there's already thousands of shows on Netflix, but let's put out more because, you know, even though, you know, some of those shows were great, like there's only so many times you can like rewatch them. So put out new content. And so I think that's where a lot of these new shows, you know, came from, like that whole thing. I mean, it's not to say they weren't already in production, you know, or already, you know, in post-production, you know, for quite some time. I do believe, however, that, you know, that there was a lot of shows that were just in the can waiting to go. And that was probably the best time because, you know, you have a captive audience, millions of people, literally millions of people at home, you know? So, yeah, so that's interesting. Thanks for the comments, Hillbilly. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
One time,
a lot of things, man.
I can watch something one time. Oh yeah. So Hillbilly says he can only watch one thing at a time. I get it. Or he can only watch one thing at once.
I'm all over the book. We are watching so much stuff that I get confused on what we watch. See, my wife, she likes watching CW shows like Stargirl and like all the DC type characters. I'll catch it with her, and then we'll turn on and start watching Titans on HBO Max, and then we're straight to Netflix watching something else, and then and the only time we get to do this is late at night after the kids fall asleep. And but there's a lot of good things coming out, man. Waiting for the new Witcher series season to come out. So I think they just started showing some clips from that in the past few days.
Yeah, I saw that was supposed to be going out as well. Dang, there's so many crazy new movies. That's cool. Definitely need to check out Squid Game. That looks wild. That looks insane. I think I get so stuck. Like I'll start watching a regular show, but then I'll get stuck like watching these reality like Metal Shop Masters, like glass blowing, like all these crazy shows.
I watched all those.
The great cooking, baking, whatever.
The great English cooking, the great English bake-off. Find out how to make the perfect crumpet and the perfect crisp.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I get stuck watching those, and so the next thing you know, I'm like, dang, I need to watch something else too, and then I just never get to it, or I get to it, blah blah blah. So it's got to be able to stay up with all that. But that's why, man, tons of new shows out there. Yeah, definitely gonna have to put Wheel of Time on the Wheel of Time. Okay, so Hillbilly, let's see here. He says, I'm a hillbilly. I live between 3 rivers, 8 waterfalls within 30 minutes of me. Man, I don't get to watch TV much.
That sounds peaceful, Hillbilly.
Is it peaceful? Is it cool? Or would you rather live closer to, a major metropolitan area? You live between 3 rivers. Are you in like Pennsylvania, like near Pittsburgh? Because that's the only place I know where 3 rivers is, but that's actually in the city. So I wouldn't make any sense.
I mean, I could imagine if you grew up in, let's just say if you're so stuck in the city life, the big city, and it's just getting to you, you may want a piece of West Virginia. So you may just want some
West Virginia.
You may want to get away, man, from all the wild stuff. So
nice.
I could tell myself I'd love to live somewhere like that, but then at the same time, I would kind of want to get into the, be able to travel in short proximity to something entertainment wise,
Yeah. So you know what? Speaking of West Virginia, I've been there before.
The Peace and Quiet are definitely.
Peace and Quiet, definitely. I bet they are. I've been to West Virginia before, and it is beautiful and green. I've been to the city of Charleston, and then what is the Beckley or something like that? It's not that far away from there. Charleston, I believe, is their capital, if I'm correct. And it's really cool. It's like a cool little, like a small, state capital type of town. Cool little downtown area and whatnot. But I gotta say, man, speaking of TV shows, one of the wildest TV shows that I remember from back in the day, one of my friends, Chester, told me about it and started watching it. I started watching it way back then. It's called, just south of Beckley. That's cool. It's a really pretty area over there, especially that new River Gorge Bridge or whatever. I'm gonna talk about that in a second. But the Wonderful Whites of West Virginia, about the crazy like family that I guess they made their name off of, like, I don't know, their great grandpa was like a world renowned tap dancer or something like that, soft shoe dancer, something like that. Had to find that, but it's a wild show because this family, it seemed to me, and I know Hillbilly, if you live in West Virginia, then you know this better than I do. But it seemed to me that their family, after the great grandpa or the grandpa, had like won all these like soft shoe tap dancing competitions. Like everybody that followed sort of like lived off of his name, and everybody knew who the White family was or whatever. Whitakers of Odd, West Virginia. Look it up. I have to look that up. So this family, and like a lot of the kids and grandkids, etc., like got bad into drugs and like, all kinds of other crazy stuff. So that's pretty wild. Whitakers of West Virginia. Here you go. Inbred family, the Whitakers. Oh, wow. Yeah, let's see here. So let me see if I could share this. Tab. Chrome tab. Bam. So there we go. We got the Whitakers of West Virginia. Inbred family, the Whitakers. Soft white underbelly. Let's see here.
Wasn't there a movie that took place in West Virginia?
Oh, yeah. I remember about seeing that. I saw the documentary about these people. This is some of the wildest stuff you ever seen in your life. Like, it's totally unbelievable.
What is that movie that came out probably like early 2000s?
Ooh.
Of I'm probably completely off. I think, did it take place in West Virginia? I don't remember. It was like kind of like a horror movie of some inbred family members that were killing people off the side of the road or something.
What is that? The Langoliers?
No,
that it?
No.
Yeah, I can't even look at this picture anymore. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I can't remember.
I gotta stop looking at that.
I might be completely off. Wrong Turn. There you go. Wrong Turn.
Oh, Wrong Turn.
Wrong Turn? I remember that. Turn? Might have been Wrong Turn. Was that
Hills Have Eyes?
Hills Have Eyes. No. I think it was Wrong Turn. Was that taking place in West Virginia?
Possibly.
Elijah Dushku. Yeah, that's what yes, Forest in West Virginia. College. Okay. That's what it was. So yeah, that was wild. Why they gotta paint West Virginians like that? Or I'll just say, yeah.
Oh wow, here we go. Jessica White got an Instagram, the real Jessica White. So it's part of the wonderful whites of West Virginia, or whatever they call it. See, look at this. Bro got like koozies. He got all kinds of stuff. There's some crazy stuff right here. These are the whites of West Virginia. You gotta look that up. Look it up on YouTube. They got like who is it, like Subob, like one of the granddaughters or something. I don't know what they call it. But yeah, it's some crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Some just real, like this lady right here. She's sort of crazy.
Catch you later, Hillbilly. Have a good one. Appreciate the feedback.
All right, peace out. Yeah, thanks for the feedback. Appreciate that. Stay up in West Virginia. I guess you win West Virginia, so you just take care. Wow. Yeah, man.
That's wild, man. So I'm like reading like the plot of this, and it's about 3 cannibalistic inbred mountain men, 3-finger sawtooth and 1 eye. That's their name. So I'm wondering, could the Whitakers be like an inspiration behind this?
It has to be. It has to be. It has to be. Because you look at these guys, yeah, it has to be. Because one dude had 1 eye. Here, let's share this again. One dude literally does like have like one eye, like, see that? Like winking an eye.
Okay.
And then sawtooth, maybe the problem is they were like most of them didn't have teeth, right? And then I think there was like a mom or grandma or something like that like, or sister, I guess a combination of all, who could not who could not what's the word? Who could not speak. She was like nonverbal, right? And there was like somebody else that actually was the one. Somebody else actually was the one communicating with like whomever went and did this interview with them. And I saw one where they went initially, and then this one I think is when they went back. So it's so crazy, man. It's some weird. That was literally one of the weirdest like things I've seen in my entire life. And I felt like sad watching it, just because it's crazy. It's some crazy stuff, man. Like this stuff you just don't even like. You can't imagine this stuff actually happening.
Crazy.
It is very, very weird. And I mean, these people live like the place that they lived in was this really weird, I don't know, house. Like it was just so sad, to see that. But man, it is what it is. Unfortunately, there's all kinds of foolishness like that go on in this world. So yes, indeed. So let's see here. What else do we have on this docket today? Yeah, so the skirt interview.
Okay, so it really wasn't about 100% about the skirts. It was more about the I guess how hip hop would eventually evolve into men wearing skirts. And we've seen it in stuff like the Boondocks kind of portrayed it in a sense. And it's kind of funny how certain cartoons and stuff like The Simpsons and Boondocks predict stuff to this day, but that's a different I guess a different topic altogether. But I'll see if I could play this clip. Can I share?
Yep.
I can share. Let's see. Share my screen. Let's see if I could play this right here. All right, let's see. Can you see that?
Not yet. Nope. Wait.
Can you see something?
Yes, I can see it now. I can't hear it though.
Uh-oh. I wonder how you could hear.
Wait. Go back and start. Go back a little bit and start again.
Can you hear? All right, I'll start from the beginning. Can you hear now? Nope.
Let me see something. No. Can you try to think? You could turn up your computer audio. So you turned up the audio on the video itself.
Yeah, it's on the video itself.
Can you just put your mic close to it?
Oh,
or maybe your mic close to your headphone.
I'll tell you what. I'll just play it through my phone.
Okay, all right, that'll work.
Stop.
You could just leave that. You can leave that paused on there, so we can talk about it while we do that. That's cool.
Okay. Share screen. Okay, I forgot to click that. Share system audio. All right, maybe you'll be able to hear it now. So, all right, can you hear it or see the screen?
Let's see. Let me do this. Yes, I can see the screen.
Their cash in a superior industry position.
Here now.
These white entrepreneurs installed a new leadership over hip hop, and they began to promote a nefarious niggerization of rap music. It says KRS-One and Public Enemy, with the message that KRS-One and Public Enemy, they said we were reaching the masses of young black people, and then NWA niggas with attitudes would be paid off and put in a position where they would neutralize Public Enemy and brothers like KRS-One. And then came the gangster rap thugging, balling, now pimping. Now the metrosexual is about to take over hip hop. And your children, your nephew, your niece, and all the little ones, the shorties now, Tay, Riri, Man, and Twan and them, in the hood, gonna be wearing fucking skirts. Watch. Man purses and this kind of shit. Seriously.
Yeah.
When was that was recorded in 2010.
That was 2010.
Wow.
So you could kind of see the evolution of what has happened and what's transpired.
Okay, World Star.
Now,
swag is on the rise. Kanye has a dress on.
I didn't see this one.
But, see it, World Star. Yes, they donating for Hurricane Sandy, but does your swag say I get to wear a dress?
Wow.
Kanye holding down for the West Side for Chicago with a dress on. It's a wrap.
Yeah. So now we saw that. Sorry. Some sharing. So yeah. And I only brought that up to because of this last episode we talked about Russell Westbrook. And then week went on, I sent you a recent picture of Jadena, classic man, wearing a dress. You know, not a kilt. Was it a kilt? Let me look again.
It looked like a full-on dress.
It looked like a full-on dress. So many men have been embracing that particular fashion look. I don't know what it could be. Did Professor Griff hit the nail on the head in his assessment of hip hop culture and whatnot?
See, this is the thing, man. This is the thing here. Watch this. Let me do this. So I think this is what's interesting is that you have, here's one right here. Right? Okay. Yeah. Wore dress for Harper's Bazaar. And let me see how long ago this was. This is September 8th, 2019. So this is September 8th, 2019, right? This is not like, this week. So what is weird is this. It's like sometimes there's people who know the trends and know what's about to happen, or they know like who is like up and coming or what's next or who's next. He is one of those guys. He hit it on the head. They for some reason they have they're privy to knowing what's coming up next. So it is what it is. And I mean, he was right. So this is the thing though, man. The only thing that I have in mind that I could equate him, I guess him predicting that is, even though this was 10 years ago, and I guess it's been, maybe, a few years now since you've seen these dudes wearing dresses. And then don't forget, what was that like? What was that? The man onesie? What was that? The mankini? What was that thing?
Romp him?
The romp him.
Was it the romp?
Yeah, the romp him, the romper, romp him. Yeah. Only thing I could think about like that is like, you think about like a Glade plug-in, right? Or all these seasonings or sauces and things you get at the store, or just like Lysol lemon spray or Ajax, orange antibacterial soap, right? Anything like that. There are companies that the main manufacturer will go to. So Glade plug-in will go to this company and say, hey, I want a Glade plug-in that smells like the mushrooms on the forest floor in Norway in June, right? So this company will go to Norway, get samples of that smell and everything there, and then basically put a bunch of chemicals, oils, other additives together, mix it all together, and create these scents, right? And so they'll create this whole line. They'll create like 10 versions of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll have Glade come to their offices and sample, smell, and plug in, like do all the things that they do. And then 6 to 8 months later, after whichever scent is approved, that will come out. So this company has a pulse on what's coming out in the future. They're creating exactly what these companies want to hear, and it comes up. So they know what's happening before it happens, right? They can't say anything about it, but they know what's happening before it happens. This guy apparently knew what was going to happen with all these dudes wearing dresses before it happened. And he came out and said it. People probably didn't believe him. They're like, man, come on, man. Come on. You know, but it's true. It's a fact.
Yeah. Yeah. You know? Wow.
It is a fact. It's weird, man. It's weird, but it is a thing.
I don't know. It's just interesting to see how all this has unfolded throughout the years. And, you know, they always talk about the how they call it, maybe I might say it's wrong, feminization of the black man, defeminization of the black man. How do they say it?
Yeah, we call it this. Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that. But you know, as far as like a lot of, like in movies, for instance, they're always talking about why do you need to put the black guy in a dress, you know, and make it look cool, or the emasculation of the black male. That's there you go. So yeah, and it just kind of moved through the Hollywood scene and then into the music scene. So I mean, I don't know. Is it? I'm only a viewer from the outside looking in. I mean, what you got on the screen there, Billy Porter, you know, that's who he feel he is, you know, that's you know what he is. But you know, a lot of these other guys like Westbrook and, you know, Jadena and Kanye and all these other folks that are, I don't know. It's hard for me to even put, you know, sometimes I got to put a foot in my mouth and just stop talking before it gets me in trouble, you know. So it's something else, man. It makes you think about a lot of these things, especially when he's talking about your kids are going to be seeing this every day throughout mainstream media, all the stuff that they wearing, all the stuff that the kids are watching.
Yeah.
You know, of course they seeing a lot of other things too, you know, violence and just complete misogyny and all sorts of things. So it's a lot of things that parents have to do on their part, especially when we're talking about kids. And there's a lot of things that, you know, media and you know, these celebrities have to do on their part to not, you know, be putting images and stuff out there. So it goes both ways, you know.
It goes both ways. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And, you know, you don't know if these people are doing this. You know, you don't know if the celebrities are doing that, you know, as a genuine thing, or if they're just trying to, like, you know, be trendy, you know, so I'm going to do it just because it's like trendy, or they're doing it just to get paid. You know? Because when it boils down to it, a lot of these people, all they care about is getting money, you know. And if there's some money behind it, they're willing to do it. You know, there's some people like, you know, NBA athletes, you know, you've already seen, man, it's 10 years or more now. You know, you've already, you know, maybe in the past 10 years, you've seen them do sort of like the walk-up outfit to the game. And not only NBA, but NFL guys, baseball guys, you don't see it as much, but because baseball isn't, you know, it's not as popular as those other sports. But essentially, you'll see them with their walk-up outfits, and, you know, they dress like they're walking on the runway. You know,
was it Cam Newton? No,
Cam Newton used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
I think he was like He's probably like the first most prominent NFL athlete that you would see dress up, really dress up to go into a game. Even though guys wear suits and stuff like that, he just took it to a fashion level, right?
Yeah.
And then, a lot of these NBA guys, James Harden does it, Westbrook, what's the dude name? He partly owns the Jazz, Dwayne Wade. Yeah, he does it. So you never see Shaq do that. You never see any of those older guys do it. So there was a time you never saw Kobe do that. Like you saw Kobe dress up and like he would wear like a suit or something to a game, but you would never see him go like fashion runway model, like wearing an outfit that no one will ever wear, because you only see it once on the runway type.
So now I'm wondering, because I can't say I've seen Cam Newton from the very beginning of his career, like, fashion wise.
Yeah.
But, I guess for these latter, I don't know how many years he's been coming, and he's just been runway model, like you say, dressed like he's in a fashion show. So I'm wondering if there's like somebody, like an agent or somebody in his ear telling him, hey, you need to spice things up with the fashion to get your name out there even more, or what? So,
yeah, I don't even know. I know that there was, they all have a, sort of like a agent and personal manager and stuff like that. That, and I think at this point, a lot of them have hired like a wardrobe, person. I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So that's what they do. They basically help them pick their wardrobe. So there was some point in time where Cam did that, because I think initially, as a younger quarterback in the league, he just wore like whatever. He'd wear just like a black, polo shirt, some jeans, or whatever, like to go to and leave a game, right? And then at some point in time, it started getting amped up. So I don't know, man. It's wild. That's a whole wild situation. And looks like that interview predicted it. And even though if you saw that interview back then, you're like, nah, come on, man. But I mean, you see the signs, and you have Lil Nas X, who now is doing on top of all the other stuff he does, he's now doing these commercials with what's his name? You seen the commercials that Lil Nas X does with
I seen some recently where you
Rocket Man. What's his name?
Elton John.
Elton John, yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that is, I mean, he's a rapper. He's also part of the country music scene, or whatever you want to call it. So, he's infusing himself, and his thought process, his identity, whatever you want to call it, into that. Yeah. So it's not slowly creeping in, but it's creeping in. Yeah. But there'll always be a faction that won't dress like that, but there'll be some that do. But I'll tell you this though, if you look at old, like very old photos, and even read old like plays, there was like years and years ago, like in Shakespeare's time and stuff like that, and before, men were the characters. Men were every character of a play. So a man played the man, a man played the woman, dressed like a woman. They gave him long hair, makeup, all this stuff, and a dress. Men played men. In some parts of the world, they just did it and that was fine. Some parts of the world, it was very like, I don't know. It was okay on stage, but they didn't want it. Like nobody wanted to see it off the stage. So if there was anybody who was a, I don't know whether you're quote unquote cross dresser, as they used to call it, or whatever, you had to do that in secret. So I do remember seeing a Russian theater companies, like it was like a Christmas party or something like that they had, it was a Christmas party. And it was like, 20 dudes on this black and white photo. And this is probably like, 1800s, maybe early 1900s, but black and white photo, they're all there. And some of them are in drag, Some of them are just dressed in whatever. But I think it was like 95% of the guys on the photo were. And, you know, and that was a fashion thing back then, because some of those guys would walk the streets as women. Like they'd be men, but dressed as women, right? But if they ever got found out or caught, a lot of times they would get killed, you know, or they would get persecuted in some other way. Mm-hmm. So, you know, this is much deeper than that, than you know, what we're talking about right now, you know, as it goes back. But there was a time when that was the norm, when you would see that displayed publicly on stage. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the theater was the major form of entertainment back in those days. So that's where people went to get entertainment. They went to get news, you know, current events, because all the plays would be about stuff that like literally it really happened, right? Or a lot of plays would. So, yeah. So, I mean, obviously that went out of culture for a long time. And now, you know, and at some point in time, thank goodness they decided, okay, yeah, women could actually, you know, women have talent too. So let's put them on stage. Yeah, thank goodness for that. Because that, you know, I mean, hey, where would we be without Halle Berry? You know, just think about that. You know, missing some Halle Berry. Yep. So
balls.
You know, say what?
I say, and her monster's balls.
Yes. But you know, we know now that, and we recognize now that fashion is cyclical. Stuff comes back. Mm-hmm. It'll disappear. It'll come back. Bell bottoms came back, sadly. You know, balloon pants came back. You know, stuff comes back. These trucker hats, which, you know, our dads wore back in the 80s, come back, you know, came back. So
they came back in the early 2000s, and I'd still wear a trucker hat.
Oh yeah, I have some. I wear them. I'm not scared. You know, lots of stuff goes and comes back. So you know, that'll be back. You know, sagging pants was in, then it was out, but it's mainly been in on the low, and it's coming back again. You know, but then it's like now it's gonna be like sagging like skinny jeans.
It already is. It already is. Sadly, sagging skinny jeans. That's I don't get it. It got, like I said last time, it got lower and lower and lower till it's underneath the butt, and then it turned into skinny jeans underneath the butt, which just looks completely ridiculous.
Yes. Oh man.
So, yeah.
Hey, white tees, like 4XL white tees, they're gonna come back. I mean, they're still here, but they're gonna be back mainstream at some point in time. Just mark it. It's gonna happen. Wow. That was a much deeper discussion than I thought was gonna happen. But
yeah, I mean,
you know,
it's out there. I'd love to hear some people's like response and you know, assessment of you know, a lot of men nowadays wearing dresses and just fashion, period. You know, I don't know. I mean, we're not all going to the Met Gala, so we're not dressing like wildly crazy, you know, like some of these folks. But you know, I'd be curious to hear people's assessment of the possible emasculation of the black man, or just, you know, fashion in general. Fashion trends you possibly want to see come back in style. Hell, man, I used to rock bootcut jeans, man. I love bootcut jeans. I don't like skinny tapered
bootcut
jeans around my calves. You know, makes me feel odd. So,
you know, I mean, there's all kinds of silly fashions. You know what I wish would come back? Cross colors. Like, I love my cross colors.
About to say skids.
Skids. Oh man, hey. You know what? You could actually still find some skids clothes. I think there's some manufacturer I think that actually still makes them, right? So you can find them. You know, you'll literally be the only one wearing skids. Like, you'll be at the, you know, the cutting edge of fashion. But, you know, in honesty, you know, skids has been long gone.
When you said that, I immediately had to go look up Jabot jeans, because Jabot jeans back in the late 90s, mid-late 90s were...
That was it.
Those were the jeans to get. And they're still in well, I ain't gonna say in style, but they're still out there. You know,
yeah.
They don't look that great. I mean, not to my fashion taste. I mean, I don't really have much fashion taste nowadays because I stay at home. I don't go anywhere. Yeah, but Jabot jeans, man.
Jabot jeans.
Yes, indeed.
Yep. I tell you what, man.
Too much money.
You know, there were too much money. Too much money. You know, but hey, that was the thing that everybody needed and everybody wanted back then. You know, that's what we all needed. That's what we all needed. Even though we didn't need them. We need them like a hole in the head.
Just to be fashionably, you know, standing out in the crowd. You see that little white stripe across your zipper in the front.
Yeah.
Gotta be
you the one. Yeah, white stripe, you know, horizontally, or the Z Cavaricci vertically, you know.
Z Cavariccis. I had a pair of those in 6th grade.
Yeah.
Only one pair.
Yeah. Trying to think what else. Cross colors, skids, Guess jeans. Like you were rich if you had Guess jeans. Like you were rich. You're richer than Jabot's. You know, because you had that little triangle on your back pocket. You know. Wow. I don't know. Fashion, man. Fashion. We're going on about fashion.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing that hadn't gone out. Levi jeans. Still got those. Find them at Walmart. Find them at other places, Target. You know.
Definitely probably the longest running clothing brand in history.
Yeah.
At this point.
Levi 501s, Levi Strauss. Why do I know these names? I don't know.
Because you're a Levi wearer yourself.
I do. Wore a pair the other day, man. Still fit good.
Yeah.
Man.
So here we go. I was about to say something. But here we go. So what is a weird thing that you would say to an adult? Yeah, I mean, you would say to a kid, but it's a normal thing you said to a kid, but it would sound weird saying it to an adult. You said something to me earlier.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You got the sniffles?
You know, I mean, yeah, it does sound a little odd, you know what I'm trying to say? Or like, you know, you'd say like,
you got a potty?
Yeah. Did you just toot? Somebody tooted? Who tooted? Was that you? Yeah. You know, you saying that to a grown up.
I never used tooted, but
like just imagine like being in your office or something like that, or like, you know, like, did you just toot? Or no, walking down the aisle at Walmart after somebody farted and you walk through the crowd, be like, somebody tooted in here. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it's that would be weird.
It would be.
That would be really weird if somebody said that.
You got the tummy ache?
Yeah, I got a little tummy ache today. Yeah, you know, there's always some things that you would say to your kids that you would definitely not say, you know, to coworkers or older family. You know what I'm trying to say? You know, like I don't know. Like the potty one, you know what I'm trying to say? Like you know, somebody need to go potty. Everybody go potty before we leave, you know? You look over at your wife, hey honey, you need to go potty? Like it would sound a little weird if you said that to you.
I say it now.
You say potty to her?
No. Usually before we leave somewhere, I was like, everybody go to the bathroom, everybody go potty. You go pee. You know, I'll say one of those 3 or 4 things. Yeah. So it all comes up.
Yeah, the one thing that I think is a constant that doesn't seem weird anymore now is like my wife will say, "Go ask dad for something," you know, or you know, go ask mom, or like I'll you know, I don't know. My wife will look at me. She's like, "Hey, dad, what's up?" I'm like, first of all, I'm not your daddy, you know. I'm your zaddy. I'm just like,
I was about to say what? I was like,
no.
But like you want to tell the community about your.
But like she'll say no. It's It's not the Whitakers or whatever you call
No,
it.
I was gonna say something like you said I'm not your daddy. I was like, wait, what? Who's her daddy?
Yeah, right. No, this is my wife saying it. It's my wife saying it to me, not my
okay.
kids.
I thought it was you said your daughter came up.
Yeah,
Sure.
like, hey, Dad, what you doing? And like to me, like it sounds a little weird, because her saying that to me, obviously, but I know what she means, right?
Yeah.
So it's weird when you say that to someone else,
Gotcha.
That'd be weird to say that to an adult. Anyway,
yeah,
so yeah. Oh wow. So yesterday I catered brisket for an event here for this new organization that's launching called the EDI Experience, right? Called the EDI Experience. And it's a local company. I couldn't actually stay for the event, but basically it's a company that is EDI, Education, Diversity, and Inclusion, the place where diversity lives. And this lady, I guess this lady, she has mixed kids, and they moved here from California. And, so apparently her husband, thought it was a good idea to move their family here. I don't know how many years ago, but, she said like the whole time for a long time after they've been here, her kids have faced, teachers who don't understand, diversity, or, other parents in school or in sports teams or other kids in school, who have, who just don't understand like Black people or don't understand Mexican people. They just don't get it. So they basically launched this thing yesterday. It was pretty dope. I actually made, like 40 pounds of brisket for it. Nice. So it was cool. But, to talk to the lady and just sort of, learn a little bit about their company and what they want to do, with like, with community work for the kids and like, sort of like saying, hey, even though you might be in like, one of the whitest cities in America, this is a place where you can have like a safe space among other kids that are like you. You guys do stuff together and you like build a little community of diversity to help sort of grow that. So it was a pretty cool little event. She had a lot of different people there, a lot of different, companies that I guess she had partner with to show up and serve or hang out or do whatever. So it was a pretty cool launch party. I haven't seen like any updated videos from or pictures from their thing. Gotcha. But but she says that she's gonna be doing a podcast as well that's basically getting people of color to come on and sort of talk about their business and experiences with diversity in places where diversity is not really a thing like in Utah. Yeah. So it'd be cool to reconnect with them at some point in time. I don't know why I thought about that, but I think I had that. I just sort of like popped in my mind right in that moment. But this is the question that I have, because I thought about this leading up to this event, leading up to dropping off the brisket, because I couldn't actually stay for the event to like serve and hang out and talk to people. Mm-hmm. But I was like, yeah, I'll definitely, bring some brisket, they paid me for it. So that's good. So, but I knew that there was going to be a couple other people there. One is a guy who does like Southern food and he serves out, a lot of, he has like a Southern food restaurant here, or maybe he's just catering. I can't remember, but it's a brother here and, I guess he's, pretty well received here. He has good stuff. I've never met him before. I followed his Instagram at some point. And then there's also another guy, who is local as well. He lives north of where we live a little bit, but he does like gourmet, like sweet potato pies and things like that. And, he's gotten, garnered, I guess whatever internet fame for making sweet potato pie. Mm-hmm. And so, leading up to the event, it was like, such and such will be there, with their sweet potato pies, such and such will be there, doing their their soul food or whatever, Southern soul food. And then Hook's Rub will be there as well, you know, with brisket, blah, blah, blah. And so I was thinking leading up to it, I was like, I'm going to be going and dropping off this brisket. Somebody else is going to be serving my brisket. Will these people think that this guy who does Southern food or this guy who does sweet potato pie did this brisket, right? If they're the ones serving it. So I don't know. I don't quite know if one of those people were there serving, right. Or if they just provided food just like I did. But I was thinking, as an artist, as a creator, would I want, you know, how would I feel about somebody else serving my stuff that I made or showing off my stuff that I made?
Yeah.
Would people have a different perception and say, you know, would people have a perception that this other person made it, right?
Yeah.
How would you feel about that if you had an art piece or something like that and you brought it somewhere and even though the person may not have out and out said, oh, you know, this is something that I made, it's like, hey, look at this beautiful artwork, blah, blah, blah. And they talked about it. They knew a lot about it and they were showing it off.
If they were able to present it in a good way and were able to answer questions about it that communicated the piece well and to whatever I was thinking, then sure, you know, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But like in your situation, when it comes to food, somebody presenting your food and let's just say, for instance, they can't explain something about the food, or maybe they have terrible customer service or something. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just plain old rude. You know, that could be like a reflection on that, on your brand, on your company.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it just all depends, man, on what type of feedback you'd get from whatever patrons that came to check out your food, you know?
Yeah. I get, you're right about that, man. I think that's the main thing, you know, but the people who were serving, like one was like the daughter of this lady, mm-hmm. and the other one I think was like one of her friends, and they're both like teenagers or something like that. So
okay.
I wasn't too worried about that, but that is true, you know, or say, you know, the other guy, like the Southern Kitchen guy was there, mm-hmm. serving out his stuff. And then also, you know, he was like, oh, and here's some brisket, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm trying to say, oh, here's a piece of brisket too. And so like people go back and, you know, associate with that probably. But what I did was I dropped off and left some cards and I left, you know, I left stickers, you know, right in front of the brisket pan, along with a couple sauces that had my stickers on them, that had, you know, the sauce flavors on them, right in front of the pan. You know, and the other guy's stuff was like in the middle of this whole serving area. It was right next to mine, but it was in the middle of this whole serving area. So it was sort of like you'd go down and grab like a little bite from each little spot. So I don't know if the guy showed up or if the pie guy showed up. I don't know. But, you know, it was one of those things I was just thinking of, like, you know, leading into it, I was like, man, hopefully they don't try to play it off that they made this brisket, because the guy's making Southern food. He's making cornbread. He's making mac and cheese. He's making, you know, all this other stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. Speaking of food, so last time we talked, I did the Utah State Fair, did a couple of demos. They were pretty dope. One was a chicken demo, and it was full of people, like 40-some people. The second one was a beef, like brisket demo, where I did like a little mini brisket trimming class, as well as like a recipe with some done brisket, you know, with finished brisket. And there's, you know, maybe like 35 people in that one, 40 people as well. So they both turned out really, really well. The fair, you know, was a good, you know, thing just to get in front of people and talk and, you know, do that thing. And then I was invited to go down to St. George to one of the stores that sells my stuff, that's Southern Utah, to do a demo class in late October. So I think just a couple days before my birthday. So that'll be fun. I'll be doing some stuffed turkey legs down there. So I'm working on a bunch of turkey leg recipes. So I might do a jambalaya or etouffee stuffed turkey leg. So I'm trying to go back and forth between that and something else. And then the other one, the main one I'm going to do is a bacon, like a mac and cheese stuffed turkey leg. So I'm trying to think of which Louisiana recipe do I want to do, on that front. So yeah, man. But yeah, it's cool being able to stand in front of people and teach them how to cook some food. It's fun. Yeah, it's really fun. So
that's cool, man.
So that'd be nice.
That's all good. Cool.
If anybody out there ever needs any tips, tricks, find us on Instagram. Find me on Instagram, because that's something I love. And, speaking of love, this is that time where Jay cues the music. We tap that love box oh so softly.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We're bringing that back because it's cyclical. Went out of style, went out of the show, and now it's back.
It's coming back like sagging pants around the booty.
Mm. Yes. Wow.
All right. Well, here we go. Well, parents out there, if you ever dealt with incompetent school administrations, please tap your love box.
Yes, indeed.
Because that's what I'm doing now. Typing letters
all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Parents out there. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. Okay, if you've ever been to Memphis and seen the prostitutes walking up and down the street, because that's all they know how to do. Tap your love box.
If you're a man and never enjoyed the fruits of a prostitute, because that's what you're supposed to do. Every man's supposed to have a prostitute, right?
Apparently, according to Brandon.
Yeah, tap your love box.
That's so wild. That dude used to call everybody G. Like, G, what's up, G? How's it going, G? Nah, G, that's stupid, G. Everybody was G. I don't know why, but this was like the last dude that you'd expect somebody to call, like, somebody a G. So he was not gangster at all. If you ever, met Ike Turner on the streets of Memphis and you both did a couple of lines together, tap your love box.
Interesting. All right. Well, if you have traveled through the great state of West Virginia and experienced any inbreeding, tap your love box. Hell, if you even traveled through any state and experienced any inbred families, tap your love box.
Wow.
Sure, there's a lot.
I am in Utah. There's some weird stuff that goes on in some places here, man. You go to the border towns that are off the interstate. That's when you find like multi-mom, one dad families, if that makes any sense. It's happening. So I don't know how much inbreeding that is, but apparently there's some of that goes on too. And it's really funky, man. West Virginia, though, very pretty place, very green. There's a place there called the New River Gorge, right? There's like a bridge on the interstate that goes over this really, like, I don't know, several 100-foot like canyon type of thing, or valley, whatever. And there's a river, like at the bottom. And sometimes they shut down, one direction of that freeway for people to do like that jump off parachuting thing or bungeeing off of it or whatever. Like, it's sort of nuts and it's way down there. It's really pretty. But you would never catch me jumping off a bridge to bungee jump. Like, no, sorry, bro. Not doing it. Not gonna do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Not gonna do it. But they also, when you go to any store in West Virginia, as soon as you walk in, they say, hey, welcome to Subway. You sure do got a pretty mouth.
Welcome to Subway. You sure got a pretty mouth. I'd love to stick this foot long in it.
No, they don't. No, they don't. But that would be funny if you had a store, a restaurant, and that was the greeting. Like I think it would work. It would work for like a makeup studio, right? Oh, you sure do got a pretty mouth. You know what I'm trying to say? Let me just make it look better. You know, like it would look better.
That would be the tagline on the outside of the store.
Oh wow, we need to make a store called "You Sure Do Have a Pretty Mouth."
You sure do have a pretty mouth, and it has to be Purdy. Purty. You sure do have a pretty mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And what would they sell in there? Makeup and hot links.
Makeup and hot links. It would be like press on nails, weave, eyelash extensions.
You have a hot sign on the side that sells sausages and
fresh stuffed, cheese and jalapeno sausages.
Yeah, wow, that's funny.
Filled with chili.
That'd be nasty. You bite into the sausage and chili squirt out.
It's like oh, you sure do got a pretty mouth.
Wow.
Oh man. Oh wow. Just okay. Tap your little box if you've ever taken a wrong turn anywhere.
Oh yeah, and, all the time.
Yeah, if you've ever taken a wrong turn and you've encountered something that you were not expecting. I've been there, done that.
Yeah, lots of wrong turns in Dallas area, and encountered lots of homeless folks. Wasn't expecting lots of old men in wheelchairs with no legs and leopard print speedos.
Oh man! Oh no!
Well, I just say one guy. But yeah.
Oh man!
Dang. Speaking of prostitution, man, there's like something going on underneath that overpass by near Walmart where I stay off of East Chase where I see people, women and men, going in and out of that little wooded overpass. So something's going on down there.
Wow.
Might be a little sex brothel community.
Hey man, I wouldn't be surprised. There's some of those places where you pass by them and you don't really look, right? There's tons of places you drive on the freeway and, like you pass it every day or, you pass it often enough to not, just to not like look, I'm trying to say, you're like, oh, it's just trees, whatever. But then every now and then, if you get stuck in traffic near there, or if you do happen to look over, it's like tent city.
Oh yeah.
It's like homeless tent city, or they have other stuff back there. And you're like, I never knew that was back there. Like they got a half pipe, what I'm trying to say? Like it's all kind of random stuff. Like you'll just see in those random places. So yeah, you're probably right. There is probably, some nefarious dealings going on, under the trees, so just be wary of that or lean into it, go just pull your car off to the side of the road, hop out.
What y'all doing?
There, be like, what y'all got going on back here? What y'all doing? Oh, you sure do got a pretty mouth.
See what that mouth do. We used to always make fun back in I think we were in junior high. Like it's probably, I didn't think fully about it, but I'd say it in the car with my mom, with my friends in the car, and my mom and maybe their mom was like, whoa, look, that lady got stretch marks around her mouth.
Around her where?
Around her mouth.
That's hilarious.
I wouldn't be thinking about it. I know what it meant, and I know my friends knew what we were talking about and joking, but I didn't put in context that the older people that were driving us could possibly put two and two together to figure out what we're talking about.
They 100% knew. They knew what was up. Yeah. They're like, they wanted to laugh, but they didn't because they knew that, it'd probably not be a good look to laugh at that hilarious kid's joke.
No. Probably shouldn't have been saying that joke in junior high anyway.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
It is what it is. You're a kid. That's why my kid now is 13 and he makes all these jokes. Or like we say something and he's like, oh, that's so funny. That's so wrong. I can't believe you said that. You know what that is? You know what I'm trying to say? I'm like, I know what it is. Do you know what it is? That's my question.
Yeah.
So
my kids, they're into these nuts type jokes nowadays. Sometimes it just gets very annoying. Sometimes it's pretty clever, because we'll feed right into it. So
yeah, that's so funny. Speaking of D's nuts and Lionel, as we talked about earlier, yeah, we had that joke yesterday. So I sent something, and I said, "I'm about to drop D's. I'm about to drop off these." And I sent him a picture of the brisket, right? And he was like, "Oh man, I thought you was gonna say these nuts." So, there you go. There you go. Oh wow. If you've ever dropped off these nuts, tap your love box. Those nuts.
I know. That's why we both got 2 kids, so we dropped them all. Rim shot.
Skeet. Shoot up the club. Yeah. All right. That's all I got.
That's all I got too, people. All right, people. Twitter, Instagram, #Blackout Pod. Find us on your favorite podcast streaming services where you could, chime in. Check us out early Sunday mornings on YouTube, unless we change that at any given time, because we, that's what we do. We like to live on the edge,
Yep.
Email us, #blackoutpod@gmail.com. Don't forget to shoot us a little voicemail, 385-3-BLAKPC or 385-325-2572. Definitely get you some hooks. You can sprinkle it all on your sausages, in your sausage.
All on them meats.
All on them meats. Any type of meat you got, or whatever food you eat. Sprinkle it on your popcorn. Sprinkle it on wherever. It don't matter. Just get you some, there you go. Another episode 197.
Ooh, getting close to 200.
200. Damn, we've been at this for what, 5-6 years? 5 years? Over 5 years.
At this point.
Yeah.
Over 4 years.
I think it is
16.
We just hit our 5-year anniversary.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It's April. Past
April. Yeah.
So So hitting 6 years, on and off, inconsistent.
Hit it.
Just be doing stuff, So yeah.
Yeah, you know what? We ain't going away. Y'all can't get rid of us that easy.
Not that easy.
Ever. Anyway. All right. Well, this has been episode not 195. Not 197. 197. But yeah, y'all take care. Peace out. Wear a money train or a money chain around your neck.
Wear a money train.
Yeah, wear a money train.
Going into 2022, we all getting money trains.
Twinkie 22.
Mm-hmm.
Riding on Twinkie 22s.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. All right.
There
we go. Peace
Blacking out. Peace.
Blacking out.